Bad Boys just
Bad Boys in the Criterion Collection.
right. It's just too weird that like his first movie was such a franchise hit.
Yeah,
So yeah, it just feels wrong. You know, The Rock, it feels so much more indie.
that feels like a first movie you could
Yeah,
use. The
first
Rock.
movie, yeah. Bringing back Sean Connery and you have Nicolas Cage. Yeah, I didn't realize Michael Bay was such like, and it's because like this isn't really my like music area, but like he's a huge music video director is how he got his start.
Hmm.
But it's all it's like Donny Osmond
Yeah, and
and,
commercials.
and commercials. Yeah.
He has that famous Got Milk commercial. The
Which
the
the
the Aaron Burr, where the guy eats the peanut butter and he calls in for a radio contest to say who killed Alexander Hamilton, and he can't say Aaron Burr because his mouth is full of peanut butter.
I have not seen this
You haven't
commercial.
seen this? It's a really
Yeah.
famous commercial.
Let me look it up. You guys can listen to me watch it. Got milk.
I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna watch this commercial and you're immediately gonna be, oh wow, this is a Michael Bay commercial. He's got a style.
93. Okay. Sorry, that's the Retro Rabbit Ears channel intro for you guys.
And that was the Vienna Wood Dance in D, one of my all-time. And now let's make that random call with today's $10,000 question. It's a tough one. Who shot Alexander Hamilton in that famous duel? All right, let's go to the phones and see who's out there. Hello, for $10,000. Who shot... Excuse me? I'm afraid your time is almost up. I'm sorry, maybe next time.
Oh man, tragic. Wow.
It's amazing.
No, I didn't need to watch Hamilton.
Yeah, no, that
That's
wraps it up.
there.
You got it.
But yeah, Michael Bay.
Michael Bay. He did a Teenage Mutant
okay.
Ninja Turtles movies in 2014.
He's the producer.
Right.
I thought did he not direct them? I thought he did.
No, he didn't.
No, he was the producer.
People pretend like he did because
Yeah.
those movies kind of suck.
And they're very like Transformers influenced, kind of.
Tony Shalhoub's in them. He plays Splinter.
He does, doesn't
He
he?
plays Splinter.
I never watched the first of those movies. I think like maybe I saw like the first 5 minutes of it on like FX one time, but I went and saw the second one because it's like why not? I think it was because like Bebop and Rocksteady, and it was Seamus and like that other dude, and it just
Krang?
seemed more fun.
You got
Who?
Krang.
Yeah,
Krang.
yeah, Krang. Yeah, well, Krang was in the first one, or no, Krang was
They
it the second one?
They tease Krang, I think. But no, they fight Splinter. No, Shredder in the first one.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. It does end with Krang, but it's like a gigantic mess of CGI.
Yeah, that
Nonsense.
movie mostly sucks.
I'll be right back. I gotta turn this light back on.
Bye.
Oh no.
I love that he has the mic caps for the FCF. the mics
Oh, he
for
does.
FCF. That's amazing.
The NBCLX.
My sauce got all my notes from this movie, and I'm really sad about it because now I gotta throw out this napkin, and I had the whole back for it, but now it's got sauce on it.
What those don't you don't normally keep the napkins, right? You transfer from the napkin to the notebook, right?
Oh well, yeah, but I still had a whole back of a napkin. I covered the
So you
front.
don't get to use the full
I don't
napkin.
get to use a full napkin now. Tragedy has struck, Matt.
Tragedy in Philadelphia.
It, a normal day.
Just a normal day.
Oh,
rough.
I do need my notebook. I know. I have a lot of good notes on this movie. Definitely.
I thought about taking notes, but like the first 20 minutes are so like just fat that I was like, I can't. This is too many pages.
I'm excited. Okay. Oh my god, I already got stuff on this. I'm a mess. It's okay. I spent the day doing an outline for a 6-page paper, so my brain is
All
not
over the
all
place.
together. But if presence in video games comes up, oh boy, do I got information to tell you? But I hope it doesn't.
Presents? Like,
Presents, like not like presents, like Christmas presents.
right.
I wish that'd be way better.
I was like, yeah, I'm going back. The top 10 presents. That's your 6-page college paper. Top 10 presents. Video games.
It's so much better. We could have done it on a personal essay. I could have done it on top 10 presents, but no, I did it on presents is like when you feel like you're in something, like you like when you get real into something, it feels like you're there as well, but really you're like physically you're not there, but like mentally you are, and you're like enveloped in it. So I did it on presents and video games, and just, you know, getting way too attached to video games, which
Nice.
I know very well, but I don't know. We'll see if it turns into 6 pages. The outline's 6 pages, so I'm hoping.
Right.
I don't know. We'll see.
Something's got to be 6 pages here.
He's gonna get something turned in on Tuesday. Who knows what it is? Okay, I'm ready. Is everybody ready?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Sweet. Okay. Okay. I know the words. Hello and welcome back to another episode of HBO Max. Woo! My name is Makenna. Joining me as always is Brandon. How are you today, Brandon?
I woke up at 6:30 a.m. to watch a really bad
Nice.
football game.
Yeah.
And the Seahawks lost. So all in all, not great.
Peach feels your sorrow there. I woke up
Each
at 9
hates Tom
a.m.
Brady.
Yeah, she hates Tom Brady. I woke up at 9 a.m. to watch the same football game. Watched like maybe a quarter, and then I was like, I'm gonna play God of War.
That was a good decision.
Yeah.
It kind of got good towards the end, but no, most of it was bad.
And that voice you hear is the one and only Matt Batson. Hello, Matt Batson. How are you today?
Whoa! Whoa! Whoa!
Whoa!
Sorry, I was going into outer space, as you can see.
It is the proper lighting scheme.
That's
for
the
a Michael
proper
Bay
lighting.
movie.
It's only blue and green. Those are the colors of outer space.
Exactly. That's how we knew where you. Yeah. It's
You knew where I was going.
how is outer space?
It's dark and scary. But they have Aerosmith, so it's okay.
If you stay out there too long, you'll get space dementia.
They'll duct tape you to a chair.
Oh, I just love when they do that, and then it's like, wait, really, or what? What are we talking about here?
And yes, we're talking about Armageddon. Woo!
Woo!
The second week of Criterion month, November. I can't think of a pun for November and Criterion Collection. There's too many syllables there.
Yeah.
But it's tough. But yes, we have Matt Batson. We're talking about Armageddon. I'm really excited. I've never seen this movie before, but I'm really excited. But before that, it's facts and figures time. I hit a button on my keyboard. Okay, no, that did affect OBS. Everything's okay. I didn't know if that was a hot
A
key.
cue is hit, but everything is okay.
Oh god, is that a hot
Which is something that doesn't happen in this movie ever. There's always a problem.
There really is, and it's so sad. This movie had a budget of 140. Oh, excuse me, came out July 1st, 1998. It had a budget of $140 million, box office of $553.7 million. It was the highest grossing film of 1998. I'm going to give you a Rodney May fact. Which does not happen very often with movies.
The Rodman.
The Rodman. Another high grossing movie of 98 was There's Something About Mary, which also came out in July of 1998. That is the last movie my dad saw in theaters.
Wow.
There's a possibility he's seen Armageddon, but I highly doubt it, seeing as he fell asleep when he watched Jurassic Park. So, that's
Hard man to please.
He really is. This Smokey and the Bandit.
Does he just not like movies?
No, I don't know.
He just sits in the theater the entire time. This sucks. Why am I here? I shouldn't have.
If it's not Marshall Falk in the St. Louis Rams, he's not watching.
Exactly. His favorite movie is oh my god, he has a list. His top 5 favorite movies. Smokey and the Bandit's on that list. Revenge of the Nerds, and like it's not Spinal Tap. It's wait.
It's not Spinal Tap, the sequel to Spinal Tap.
This is Spinal Tap, and it's not Spinal Tap.
Yeah.
And then there's the third, I can't believe it's not Spinal Tap.
That's amazing. Wait. Is there a movie I could call him?
There is a movie.
I'm stuck on this now. We'll get to Armageddon in a second. It's like
Armageddon to it.
Write that down. That's good.
What's that movie? Maybe Contact might be in the title.
Contact. The movie
Contact. Yeah. Great movie.
Also about space.
Matthew McConaughey, Helen Hunt, right? Helen Hunt? Or what's her name?
No, it's she's from Silence of the Lambs.
Jodie Foster.
Jodie Foster.
What? Hold on. I'm texting him. What's your top 10 movies? We'll get back to that. Not that has anything to do with anything, but now I'm really curious. Okay. It had 4 Oscar nominations. Or Armageddon did. Best original song, best sound effects, editing, and best visual effects. Didn't win any of them, but it's okay.
Really? Best original song?
Yeah, for that one.
That was like the biggest song of the year. Like I think it like multiple weeks at number 1 on the chart.
What won?
Yeah, let's see.
It's
original song 1998. I thought you were about to sing it. Oh, it was My Heart Will Go On, of course. Yeah, fuck this song. Yeah.
Wait.
Okay, well deserved. Yeah.
Oh, because... No.
Or is that the year before?
That was... I was going to say, because there's no... Because she said this was like the highest grossing movie of the year. Titanic was the highest grossing film of all time.
So
that wasn't the same year. It was the Prince of Egypt.
Oh, I did, yeah. The banger from Prince of Egypt. I think we watched that at Catholic School this week when I was in like 5th grade.
Prince of Egypt kind of slaps. That was a dope movie.
Yeah, it was pretty, from what I can remember.
But I mean, come on, Aerosmith.
Yeah, I mean,
can't go wrong. I cried.
Yeah, I don't remember Prince of Egypt. I had like toys, like maybe it's like I don't know.
You got that Moses toy.
But yeah, I don't really remember much of the movie. I don't know. Not at all. Armageddon.
There were model kits released of the Armadillo, the Russian Space Center, and the X-71 as recently as 2011.
Wow.
So there's possibly model kits of Armageddon still out there. I don't know.
The Armadillo is dope.
It's sick. It
is.
I love that. Like, there's a gun on that thing. Like for
a gun on it.
At this point, like it's no other reason than to sell toys. Like, because like I was watching this movie with my fiance Jessica, and then like when they show the gun, I turn to her and I say, "And that's for the aliens later." Like she's like, "What? There's not aliens." And this is like, "Oh, you'll see." But no, like it's definitely like It's just such an insane design for this movie.
Like, what would even be the purpose of putting a gun on a drill?
If the drill's not working, you shoot it. You just shoot till you get there.
It's literally just because they wanted the scene where fucking what's his name gets on the gun and just starts firing it into space. So Steve Buscemi, he's got space dementia.
Of course. It's... there's also a ride in Disneyland Paris. I don't know if it's still there anymore. But there was a theme park ride that simulated the Russian space center being destroyed.
Oh my gosh.
So I think we need to go. We need to take a field trip, HBO Max field trip to Paris to see if it's still there.
I think sidetrack here. We should start to compile the list of like theme park attractions based off Michael Bay movies. Because I think McKenna, you were there when I was telling you about how Disney World used to have a Pearl Harbor stunt show. Based off the movie Pearl Harbor.
My God.
It was, I remember like, because I was there, like I experienced this. I sat and was like, what is happening? What are you talking about? This is like 2002 or 3. I guess it would have been shortly after the movie came out. But yeah, so I think we can maybe put together a top 5 list of Michael Bay theme park rides.
And then we're going to go to all of them because we're such big Michael Bay fans.
Universal has to have like a Bad Boys ride, right?
Not in Orlando. They definitely had like a Transformers thing for sure, but
we got that one.
I don't know about a Bad Boys ride.
Makuga would know. We'll ask him.
He would know.
Mm-hmm. My dad got back to me. This is the Rodney May top 5 movies list. Smokey and the Bandit, Revenge of the Nerds, Tommy Boy, Disclosure, Trains, Planes, and Automobiles.
Disclosure?
That's the one I was thinking about. It does not have Contact in it, but it had a word with a C in it.
What? What is the? It's a Michael
the
Douglas
electronic
thriller,
duo, right?
Based off of a Michael Crichton novel.
He said he bumped Porky's out of the top 5.
Yeah, I do not know Disclosure at all.
Never heard of this movie. Rodney May, weird guy.
But it sure beats Jurassic Park.
Yeah, way better than Jurassic Park. Won't fall asleep watching Disclosure, that's for sure.
The full story, now I'm going to tell the full story of this. It was on a date with my mom, and it was like a double feature at the drive-ins. It was with the Flintstones. They went to go see the Flintstones. It just so happened Jurassic Park was also playing, and they fell asleep during Jurassic Park, but loved the Flintstones.
Yeah, great movie.
Yeah. So yeah, that's your Rodney May portion. Oh, NASA. NASA shows this movie during management training, so they can spot the difference, spot the problems. They found 168 so far.
Just imagine, like, your first day at NASA and you have to sit there for 2 hours and 30 minutes just taking notes on everything that's wrong.
I'd be
like, what do you count as like something that's wrong?
Yeah.
It's like just the premise alone of like, okay, we're gonna send these randos into space. Do you count that as a problem?
We're not teaching astronauts to drill. We're teaching drillers how to be astronauts. Like, do you just say like, well, I mean, NASA said so I guess that one's right. That's not, or is it a mistake for each person? I don't know. I'd like to see the math. I'd like them to show their work on this one.
Yeah, I wonder IMDb didn't have the list of the full 168 list. I'm sort of sad about it. But you know, we'll look into it. Bruce Willis, B. Willie, starred in this, Sixth Sense, and Unbreakable as part of a 3-movie deal after dropping out of the failed comedy Broadway Brawler. This was so Disney could absorb the failed costs of Broadway Brawler as an advance against his salary.
Is that a real movie, Broadway Brawler? Do you know about this?
It sounds like it's a movie that never actually got made.
Yep. Okay. Unfinished. Yeah, an unfinished 1997 romantic comedy that was set to star Bruce Willis and Maura Tierney, and directed by Lee Grant. But yeah, not a lot of information about it other than Disney.
Well, I'm glad he made the 3 good movies that you
I've-
listed instead of that.
I do have an LA Times article from March 13th, 1997. If we want to read it, we could put that on the back burner.
How many words is the article?
You know, it's a decent chunk.
Okay,
Let me
we'll
just
save
give you
that
the
for bonus
headline. Let me just
content.
give you the headline.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Or the first, I guess, the nut graph, right? It's been a
Yes.
while since I did any journalism classes.
Yeah, you.
When Bruce Willis' latest film, Broadway Brawler, turned into a real-life brawl between the actor and some of the filmmakers, resulting in the firing of director Lee Grant and practically every key player on the 20-day-old production, there is only one thing left to do: shut it down.
It's amazing.
Wow.
You
Yeah,
really know how to reel you
yeah,
in.
they fought each other. Huh?
It's brawled. Boom, boom. That's a shame. What could've
Basically, it was supposed to be Jerry Maguire, but with hockey. That was it.
Oh yeah,
That was
sounds
it.
great.
Yeah.
been- What is Jerry Maguire?
Ah, great movie.
It's like so. He's like a sports agent
Mhm.
who like decides that he doesn't like his agency. They're doing
Yeah,
things
works
all
for the
wrong.
big wig Hollywood agency. Says, you know what? I'm gonna stick it to the man. I'm starting my own thing.
Mhm. But then it's hard starting your own thing.
Mhm.
So he gets Cuba Gooding Jr., who's playing wide receiver for the Cardinals. To help
Yeah.
him out.
And then,
Renee
and then he's also
Zellweger's there
trying to
for
get
like some reason.
yeah. So that's the classic thing, Makenna. Like it's referenced a lot whenever people are like, "I'm leaving. Who's coming with me?" Whenever people do that, that's from Jerry Maguire because nobody went with him except for Renee Zellweger, who was, I think she was like the receptionist or something.
Yeah.
She was like, he didn't know her that well, but she was just like, sure.
Yeah, they they had done some stuff yeah, she's like his secretary or something. She decides to go with him.
And then Jonathan Lipnicki. McKenna, you love Jonathan Lipnicki.
Oh, love him. Yeah.
Love the Lipnicki. He's Renee Zellweger's son, and he's a very weird kid. This is before Stuart Little, I believe.
Yeah,
And,
this was his like first thing because he got like super popular from Jerry Maguire.
Instant. He set the world on fire with this performance. He tells Jerry Maguire, who's played by Tom Cruise, the human head weighs like 8-point-something pounds. You had me at hello. Is that also the Jerry
Yeah,
Maguire? Yeah.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Wow.
Kushlash? Kushlash, that's from Jerry Maguire.
Yeah,
So much came out of this movie. I should really watch it. It's amazing.
but that's not what we're watching.
Yeah, no. We watched
We're on a
Armageddon.
tangent. Started from what was it? The Broadway Brawler. Everybody loves a good Broadway Brawler tangent.
Do you think that was the first Broadway brawler tangent that's ever happened?
It could be. Very well. could
Well,
be.
I mean, it seems like the production of the movie was like a Broadway brawler tangent. Like they were trying to
Right.
go make Broadway brawler, and things got off course.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
fair. That is fair. Do you think it's the first tangent where it went from Broadway brawler to Jerry Maguire?
Absolutely. Well,
I don't know
I
because
assumed.
the article says it's a Jerry Maguire type. So
That's right.
Yeah, it seems like they were like, you know what, we
Sure.
need another Jerry
Yeah.
Maguire kind of.
Mhm.
Movie. That's the new genre that's sweeping Hollywood. Is Jerry Maguire.
the kids can't get enough of these Jerry Maguire flicks.
I
Set
thought
up a whole Jerry Maguire cinematic universe. They were ahead of their time, really.
Jerry Maguire was a sci-fi movie until you just told me what it was about.
Oh no, it's set 3,000 years in the future, and football very different.
Yeah.
Even more reason to watch it. In Armageddon, they worked around $19 billion of equipment, including a real oil rig and real space shuttle, and they got to go into restricted places in NASA. You know, they're so special. You know.
Yeah, like
space.
a lot of the NASA stuff, like it's shot on location
Very-
at NASA.
yeah.
Real
They're
space
at
shuttle.
like the Apollo 1 like launch facility and stuff. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And yeah, I believe so. Like, because yeah, I read something. It was similar to like how Top Gun like worked with the Navy, and we're like, hey, like, or well, Armageddon, like the producers Bruckheimer and everybody were like, you remember how recruiting went up for the armed forces with Top Gun? We're hoping we can do the same for you with NASA if you just help us out. And NASA, I guess so. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah,
Worth it.
sorry, that was
Dope.
a poorly timed cough on my end. Yeah, shout out to space, and NASA. The Independence crash, sorry, spoilers for the movie, for, was on the first night of shooting, just to test the spacesuits out, and Ben Affleck almost suffocated, because his air supply somehow got cut off, and it was like during a shot, and Michael Bay saw him like looking around, saw Ben Affleck looking around, so he yelled cut, and Ben Affleck was looking around trying to find a rock to break his space helmet because he couldn't breathe. So,
They put him in airtight suits?
Apparently. Yeah.
They didn't shoot on location in space.
Or did they?
The spacesuits don't need to be functional.
They had to test him out before Bruce Willis got on set,
Gotta look out for number one.
There.
Yeah.
Air supply.
Ben Affleck notoriously bad time shooting this movie. he and Michael Bay do not get along.
Most people in Michael Bay do not get along.
That's true.
Because
Michael Bay's
I think
kind of
like
a
Bruce
crazy
Willis
person.
was like, I will never work with him again.
There's Armageddon has a very famous commentary track for it on the DVD of Ben Affleck does the commentary, and he tells a story about he went up to Michael Bay while they were making the movie and was like, hey, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, wouldn't it be easier to train astronauts to drill than drillers be astronaut? And he said Michael Bay told him to shut the fuck up.
Classic Michael Bay.
Mm-hmm.
My final fact and figure, the dog in the beginning, was specifically trained to destroy Godzilla toys, and it was that little dog was worth $20,000.
Little Richard. My favorite part is when you go through the credits of the movie, and like nobody in that opening scene has a name. Like Eddie Griffin does not have a name. This other guy does not have a name. And then the dog is named Little Richard and is screaming help, for Little Richard. The man is like caved into the ground, and Eddie Griffin does not care at all. He's just like, oh, Little Richard, please. And then in the credits, it says Little Richard, played by Frank. That dog's name is Frank.
So, did they train the dog for this movie, or did Michael Bay?
Did they train Frank for this movie?
Did they train Frank for this, or did Michael Bay find Frank and saw that Frank could destroy Godzilla figures and was like,
"It's on his
That's
resume.
what I need in my movie."
Frank has a reel of him just tearing up Godzilla toys.
Cover up the Godzilla toys in between takes because Frank kept attacking. Oh, what a movie! We're off to a good start, Frank, Little Richard, tearing it up. That concludes facts and figures. I'm ready to talk about this movie. I loved it.
Before we move on, I have two other facts and figures I wanted to share. Michael Bay, I believe, he says that it's his worst movie ever. He hates it. I think he said it was like only 16 weeks of filming or something like that. And then also Steve Buscemi claimed that his role was actually just supposed to be like a heroic geologist, just a very nice guy. And he was like, oh, finally, like I'm not going to be typecast as a piece of shit. And then when they cast him, they added in all these things to the script to make him a piece of shit. So, yeah, I really love that part. Poor Steve Buscemi just couldn't catch a break. And then the performance that he gives, like knowing that information, just good on him. He's like, you want me to be the bad guy? I'll be the fucking bad guy.
Space adventure.
I know I know Michael Bay is like a huge Coen Brothers fan, and he's constantly like trying to work with like the Coen Brothers cast of characters. So like, yeah, I imagine he was like, you know who we need? We need Steve Buscemi.
Yeah.
And he needs to be like he was in Fargo. I want to make Fargo.
And in the
What
movie,
if
he
it-
gets killed by a wood chipper. It's wild. Yeah.
Sorry, there's like a fly buzzing around the computer. I think I got it.
Look at that. Matt Batson, professional fly catcher.
Oh yeah, I actually did get it. That's gross. I have hand sanitizer somewhere. It's my fan control football hand sanitizer.
Oh,
that.
I have one of those.
You have one of those
I do.
I don't.
from season 1.
Yeah. The OG.
The OG.
Yeah, that's what we got instead of championship rings. Is we got hand sanitizer.
They're giving out so many, yeah. Instead of popping bottles of champagne, that's what we got.
Smelled so fresh.
Mac, what did you like about this movie?
Everything. Okay, so I have a list of because I wrote down multiple times in my now stained napkin things that I loved. So multiple thoughts. So I love. Can read it there. I love. Well, you can't because it's small on the screen. I promise. This. I love Steve Buscemi, space, team montages, and slow motion walks. And that is what I loved about this movie, which I think covers everything, really.
That's it. That's the movie.
That is a small portion of the nearly 3 hours of this movie.
Yes. I love the first hour of this movie. I feel like the first hour of this movie is nearly perfect for what it is. And it moves at such a breakneck pace, for better or worse. Like, I love how tightly this is edited, how fast they set up the problem and explain things away. Like, how they're so good at exposition dumping in, like, very fast and efficient, but, like, still stylish Michael Bay ways. And then you pause the movie and you're like, we still have, like, that's only an hour. They're not even in space yet.
Yeah, it's like almost the full runtime of the movie before they even get on the asteroid.
Yes.
It's like an hour, what? Hour 10 before they get on the asteroid?
Yeah. And then for me the rest of the movie from the moment they get into space, it reminds me of a writing exercise I did in college for a screenwriting class, which was just creating conflict. That was the exercise. Just write out, you come up with a situation, you just write out how many different things can go wrong. Because that's just what they do when they're in space. They're like, there's no bad guy. Like, let's just constantly make shit up.
What is it, Murphy's Law? Anything that could go wrong goes wrong, or whatever.
When they're on the Russian space station and they have to like get the jet fuel or the rocket fuel out of the thing, and the guy's like, look, this is a really complicated thing. If you fuck it up, it blows up the entire space station. I'm not gonna do it. Me, the guy who knows how to do it, I'm not gonna do it.
I'm going
AJ,
upstairs with everybody else, including other astronauts.
I'm not gonna.
We're gonna
pay
have
attention.
you,
We're
the
gonna have
worst
you do
oil
it.
driller.
Now,
You're
what
gonna
are we
do
doing
it.
up there? Every single member of both ships? Who knows? Who really knows? But we're all gonna be up there, and we're not gonna pay attention to you at all.
I'm gonna be completely honest. I have no idea what happens in that scene because of how quick everything happens, and just how like I felt sick with like I felt like I was just somersaulting all over the place.
Yes,
they don't even like properly set up like what the thing is, like what the problem is, like what you have to do,
drilling,
what AJ fails to do,
right?
Like the
or
end of the movie,
even just like the thing with the big dude, what's his name, Max something Mac, is it Mac? Did I make that up?
I think it's
Max.
Yes.
The guy who gets space dementia.
Yeah, when Max like explodes and they lose the first armadillo, like we don't really know what's happening. They're just like, yeah, it's just drilling. It's dangerous.
They hit a gas pocket on an asteroid.
Right, and then when Ben Affleck does it, he's like, no, I just got to keep going. And You gotta
Okay.
trust me.
Oh god.
So
And at this point, it's the like fourth climax of the movie. We still have 3 more to go.
So like generally in writing, right? You do the rule of 3. Like you set up, you like increase the thing, and then you pay off. And so this movie does a thing with the drilling in Ben Affleck, right?
Yeah.
The beginning of the movie, apparently Ben Affleck has been night drilling. Like he's been drilling while everybody else is asleep for oil, so they hit the oil sooner than they're expecting, which is like, why? Why would you? That makes no sense. That's so stupid. Like, he's just been like practicing his drilling at night.
Yeah. They went, they did a lot of research, did the hard work of talking to a lot of people at NASA. Oil drilling? No. They're just like, you know what? We get it. Put something in the ground, the oil comes out. I got this.
They do the second beat when they're in like the underwater tank or whatever, and they're doing the practice drilling, and AJ's like, I gotta keep going. And Bruce Wilson's like, no, you're drilling too much. And he's like, no, you just gotta let me drill. And then he fucks up the drill and they lose, right? And so they get to the final thing. They're down to their last drill. And Harry's like, AJ, you gotta stop drilling. He's like, no, you just gotta let me keep drilling. And so like normally like the climax of like the arc would be that AJ's like, no, Harry, you're right. I'm not gonna keep drilling.
Yeah, I learned something.
Yeah. Instead, he's like, nope, gonna keep drilling. And this time, for some reason, it works.
And then the other great part about like this rule of 3 situation is those first 2 happen within the first hour of the film. And then you wait another hour and 30 minutes, and then you get the resolution to it.
So Matt, you talked about like the breakneck speed at the beginning of setting everything up and editing. The timeline of this movie makes absolutely no fucking sense. So like we get them on the oil drill, right? They blow up their oil drill, they kick AJ off, and then NASA shows up and they take Harry, they explain the problem. Like, okay, you got to teach these guys how to do it. And then
go ahead.
They're doing their roundup scene, and like, so like, how long has it been since they picked him up from the oil rig and took him to?
It's been
NASA?
3 days. They say it was 3 days, and in those 3 days, AJ has a drilling company.
He has started his own business.
And he's doing very well.
He has gotten approved for a business loan by a bank.
Yeah.
He has purchased a plot of land to drill on. He has constructed an oil rig.
Yeah.
People are what's his name?
That.
Michael Clark Duncan has like gone out to Montana.
Everybody else is gone. Yeah.
He has apparently committed some ridiculous amounts of crime to where there is like a mob of police in a high-speed chase.
And he thinks that's normal. He was waiting for this. He's prepared for this.
Owen Wilson is riding a horse in the Midwest.
Very similar, but different.
The timeline of this movie makes absolutely no fucking sense.
And then also, as we're kind of moving through this movie chronologically, I would like to go back and reference, because we get the amazing asteroid scene again at the beginning with Eddie Griffin, shout out Undercover Brother, if y'all ever watched
great movie
on this show. Great movie, and Little Richard. But then we also get the scene of the discovery of the asteroid with Laura Palmer's mom from Twin Peaks, Sarah Palmer.
Oh, right. Like the guy with the telescope, right?
Yes, who discovers it. And it is the most, like, that scene is the most, like, I think you should leave, like, bonkersly cut and, like, shot thing where, like, it's all, like, these weird tight shots and then, like, everybody's acting so weird of just, like, I hate my wife. And she's like, I hate you too. Oh, an asteroid. I'm going to name it after you because I hate you. Scene ends.
Okay. So we keep going backwards. He's like, okay, before like the scene that starts it, there's the scene that starts it. There's 2 scenes before that, right?
Right.
Because before that, they're up in space and that one guy just gets fucking like George Clooney from Gravity, just knocked out into space forever, just obliterated. And then before that, they have Charleston Heston narrate The asteroid that killed the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Like, that is such an like, everybody knows that. That's such an unnecessary thing to put in the movie.
For anyone who doesn't know.
Like, they do 4 setup scenes to get you like, no, like, you don't understand. There's an asteroid out there and it's fucking big.
Like, imagine, like, if you're, you know, Joe Schmo walking off the street, you don't know Bruce Willis, you don't know Ben Affleck, which, I mean, at this point, you know, Ben Affleck from Good Will Hunting, and then, but then, yeah, like Kevin Smith movies.
Yeah.
You walk in, you don't know who's going to be the main character. You're like, oh, these astronauts, dead. This guy on the street, dead. All these other people, dead. This couple who discovers the thing, they hate each other and you'll never see them again. So yeah, by the time you get to the oil rig, you're like, is the movie starting yet or what's going on here?
Okay. I have another bit about time not making sense in this movie.
Okay, go on.
So before they launch the spaceships, which, by the way, spaceships, when they launch them, too close together.
Yeah.
Oh,
Way too close together. Later, they crash because they're too close together. These things so too close together. But when they're launching it, the president's like giving the speech or whatever, right? And it starts like bouncing around to all the different places in the world because it's going to end the whole world if they don't do it. So they want to set up. They want to show you all these different people.
Because Michael Bay was like, Independence Day, really good.
Every single place in the world that they show, like Australia, Africa, United States, same time, every single place.
I didn't notice that.
They're listening on delay. They're listening on delay. And also,
so, yeah,
like,
it launched 12 hours ago. We're just out here chilling.
It already happened in Australia. It's just waiting to get to the other side of the world. Time to Armageddon. 3 minutes, 20 seconds. It's whenever the dude gets hit in space. That is Armageddon.
Mm-hmm.
I had to look up the definition of Armageddon because I didn't know what it meant. I thought it was going to be the name of the spaceship, and then when it wasn't, I was like, well, I don't know the definition. And then I had to go back in the movie to try to find Armageddon. We got there. The soundtrack in this movie is fantastic. You got ZZ Top. You got Aerosmith.
Yeah.
What else? What more do you need?
I feel like we could
for this movie sold really, really well.
We could spend like a whole other 2.5 hours just talking about Aerosmith and Liv Tyler, you know, having that connection on screen together for the first time, which later, of course, in Lord of the Rings, Two Towers, also Aerosmith and Liv Tyler. A lot of people don't know that. They played Back in the Saddle when Gandalf the White shows up.
Oh, that would be so dope.
Let me tell you what I learned in this movie, other than the definition of Armageddon. Liv Tyler and Liz Taylor, not the same person.
No.
Vastly different people. I learned they were 2 separate people. And that is another thing that I learned in this movie.
Mm-hmm. And then also another thing about Liv Tyler in this movie, if you think about, like, wow, she had great chemistry with Bruce Willis playing her father. Mm-hmm. A lot of people don't know Steven Tyler actually did all the scenes with her, but they edited him out in post. And
wait! Hold on, I just connected the
dots. Oh my god!
Wait, Steven Tyler.
That's how they got him.
Oh! I thought there was some Aerosmith thing that I just didn't get because it's a pop culture reference.
Oh yeah, no, Steven Tyler's her dad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, everything makes so much
It all makes
more
the whole
sense.
movie, yeah, 10 out of 10, right?
Oh my god.
Matt, you said you took some screenwriting classes, yeah?
Oh yeah.
Did you learn about animal cracker scenes when you did those?
My favorite part. So that is one of the best scenes in movie history, in romantic comedy history.
I also only took like a screenwriting class, and our professor he defined it as an animal cracker scene, and it is from this movie, which is a scene that contributes nothing to the plot whatsoever.
Oh, but it's incredible. So the scene itself, Ben Affleck doing this accent, him just being so into, he's selling this as hard as he can. He's like, this is a major motion blockbuster picture. This is what I got to do now. This is my life. This is my career now. And he's doing the best he can. And he's the animal cracker can go up north or it can go down south. And then Liv Tyler's line after all this is, do you think anybody else in the world is doing
Yes, I was going to bring it up.
And
No,
I just go like I just started cackling and I go no,
nobody else is doing this. Nobody else has ever done this.
It's like they had to know. They had to know what they were doing with that line.
They're out in like the middle of a swamp at like an abandoned gas station,
playing with animal crackers and fooling around in the grass.
Okay. The setup for this scene, right, is that like he's like, okay, before we go out there, you got to give my guys 24 hours. Just go out there one last day where we get to do whatever we want in case we don't come back. So NASA, they're like in Houston, right?
Right.
Some of the guys go to this weird strip club that's in like a fucking church,
right,
in like the middle of a city. Ben Affleck goes out to this weird gas station swamp. Fucking Will Patton goes to a different city to go see a kid that he has.
Which my favorite part about this, and this is just such like a trope, like in the 90s and like early 2000s especially, where like the heroes are like men who are really shitty. They took this flawed character thing a bit too far. She's like, you can't be here. There's a restraining order. We don't know what happened. But it had to have been bad. It had to have been bad for Frank from Halloween to not be allowed to see his wife or his ex-wife and his child.
When they're doing their list of demands, okay. So this is an Armageddon rabbit hole I've heard some other people go down before, but we need to go into this, which is who the fuck is Noonan? If you pull up the Wikipedia page for this cast, it's a bunch of it's like all the the astronauts, all the oil drillers. Only one of them doesn't have a Wikipedia page, and it's this guy who plays Noonan. Noonan is barely in this movie. He's in like the background of a couple scenes as one of the oil drillers. But when they're doing the list of demands, they say like Noonan has some women that he wants brought into the country. What the fuck is going on with Noonan?
Noonan's not even there. They're just trying to slip one past the government, helping out their boy Noonan at home. He's like, Noonan, do you want to come to space? He's like, no, but like if you could figure this out, I would greatly appreciate it. But also, yeah, to go back to like, he's like, give my guys a couple days. They want to see their families. And I'm like, they bounce around like a couple times with Will Patton and Ben Affleck. And I'm like, oh, I want to see, you get to see a little peek inside these characters. This is the first time we got to see Will Patton really have his own scene. Like, oh, maybe Michael Clark Duncan will get his own. Maybe Owen Wilson will get his own. No, they're just like, there's no more time. Yeah, we got to put them all at the strip club. They're all there together.
They all have nothing better to do with their last day on Earth, maybe. And for Owen Wilson, yes, his last day on Earth.
Yes,
he goes to a strip club.
Yeah, gone too soon. Also, what a time! What a time for Owen Wilson. This is, which I don't remember him being in Anaconda, but he's in Anaconda.
Yeah.
And so this is really kind of like his third movie. After Bottle Rocket and Anaconda.
Yeah, he was like a supporting guy who dies.
Who just gets eaten, yeah.
Oh my god. And he has my favorite line in this movie, which I say all the time, which is I hate it when people think that Jethro Tull is just some guy in a band.
This is great. Which that's that whole scene too of just like everybody just getting like mental evaluations. But that's easily the best line out of that.
Michael Clark Duncan kills it in this movie. He's so good. Movie. He's great.
Rest in peace. Real life.
R.I.P. One of my other favorite lines in this movie is when who is it? William Fichtner pulls out a gun and Will Patton goes, "What are you doing with a gun in space?"
Amazing line. And then but Bruce Willis, like, just talk about commanding every scene he's in, like, just unfazed by this guy. You know who we haven't talked enough about? Screw Bruce Willis. Billy Bob Thornton.
Billy Bob Thornton.
Amazing Billy Bob movie. He is such a natural in this role as Southern accent NASA smart guy. Like, I love him in it. He's so charismatic.
He's got a speech for every single scenario.
Yes. But he's still like, and it's crazy too, like, to me, I don't know, for some reason I kept just with, the modern age, I kept juxtaposing this movie with Don't Look Up because it's also about an asteroid hurtling to Earth, but nobody listens to NASA, which I find very funny. But like, in the beginning, like, when they discover this, everybody needs to talk to Billy Bob Thornton. Like, everybody and their mother is like checking in on, like, what is it? Like, what are you doing? And then, like, after that, they just kind of leave him alone. And you're just like, obviously,
he's like
in the
head of the asteroid department.
Yes. But like, everybody's like, nah, BBT's got this. Like, the president's not calling again until the very end. Yeah.
They have that scene with the president where they're like trying to explain it to me. She's like, give it to me in English, damn it. And they like give him the. It's like it's trying to shoot like a bullet with a bullet or something.
Yeah.
Like they give him this stupid like metaphor. And then he's just like, yeah, just put a nuke in it.
They have the scene where like the president's best advisor said we could just like hit it with the nuke, and Billy Bob Thornton's like, well, I went to class with him and you shouldn't be listening to somebody who had a C- in astrophysics. And I was like, well, why is he the president's advisor?
Yeah, why aren't you the president's advisor, Billy Bob?
Very bizarre. But like, this movie does so much for just like control room, like crisis room military jargon and scientists speak for decades to come, all influenced by this movie.
This movie does it's like every single thing is like the ultimate dumb it down. It's just like, how do you, everything in this scene, dumb it down to the lowest possible denominator. Kind of what Michael Bay's really good at.
Yes.
Lucius Malfoy is also in this, which is really hype. Jason Isaacs. He's
one of the
around.
NASA guys.
He does math things.
Michael Bay is also a NASA guy in this movie.
Yeah. Which you might know this, is there like a history of him putting himself in other movies? Because I couldn't think of like another one.
He has a cameo in Coyote Ugly. He is the photographer. He is the photographer at the bar who takes a picture of her in Coyote Ugly.
Wait, did he direct that movie?
No, but it's a Bruckheimer movie.
Okay,
Bruckheimer's
I was gonna say
that's his boy.
There's they really like slow-mo in this, especially at the end.
And to the point where they use like fake slow-mo in this movie too. Like at the point where they are docking onto the Russian space station. The first time they do it, like both sides, I'm sure it's the exact same shot, but they just mirror it. And they're like, well, we need to differentiate it too. So the first shot, they slow it down, but they didn't shoot it in slow motion. So it's a very like framey, like, and now it's dark. And everybody in the control room's like, oh, thank God. And then it's the second one there, and it's just the exact same shot, just mirrored and not in slow motion.
Like, just don't even show the set. We only need one example of docking.
Yeah. Peach agrees.
Peach hates digital slow-mo.
She hates
you don't shoot it in slow-mo.
She doesn't want to see it.
And towards the end, like the end when they're on the asteroid, and I like similar with like the Russian Space Center. I don't know what.
Big fan of Peter Stormare.
Big fan of Peter Stormare. She's like, oh man, it's so good that like after Bad Boys.
Both of the guys from Fargo are in it.
That's true. Yeah, Peter Stormare also in Fargo. But Peter Stormare, yeah, Bad Boys also. So
he really did
just
just
really
go like,
likes-
I like Fargo a lot.
And later on, Billy Bob Thornton also in Fargo. Lauren Malvo. In the first season of the television series.
So he was projecting for the future too.
Yeah, he was.
He was talking to Michael Bay, and Michael Bay just
Yeah.
kept being like, dude, have you seen Fargo? You gotta watch Fargo, bro.
He's very good in Fargo, and he creeps me out every time he's on screen. But it's okay, because Billy Bob Thornton's great. And Billy Bob's
He's
a
great.
wonderful name. I don't like the editing, and like it's too jumpy, and I don't know what's going on, and it confuses my little pea brain. Like I don't know what's happening. When they start to drill and there's just a bunch of random shots of like different pieces of equipment, and it's like, I'm not a driller, I don't know what this does. Stay on it longer than 0.5 seconds, but you know, I don't know, things move fast in space apparently. They gotta go. They only got like 20 minutes before Earth is gone, so I can't blame
That
them.
is very much the Michael Bay editing.
This is like the origin of like the greatest, you know, Transformers complaint, which is just everything is too tight and too shaky. And also like my favorite thing too is like every just normal conversation Michael Bay says, fuck headroom. No one's having any. I'm cutting everybody right here.
Super tight shots. Cameras constantly moving.
Yes.
Lights that don't make any sense.
Yes. Oh, we didn't even talk about. I just noticed for the first time watching it. Screenplay. One of the writers, J.J. Abrams.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, there's like a bunch of people who took a knock at this.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it's one of those. But yeah. So I was like, I'm just imagining J.J. and lens flares because he's like, oh, one day they'll see.
Well, he said in an interview when Force Awakens came out about writing for this movie, and apparently someone told him, was like, it's a movie, it's fine if it's not scientifically accurate or whatever. It's like, well, yeah, that shows a lot, but it's okay. Also, shout out to the asteroid that sounds like a hungry bear, even though there's no sound in space, but you know, for some reason the asteroid makes sound, so.
I think they might have used the sound library from Jurassic Park for the asteroid.
Oh,
It's amazing.
I believe it. And then
that's one thing that if you like listen for it in movies, like the T-Rex sounds, the raptor sound, like they use the dinosaur sounds so often in movies.
Also asteroid. So
very similar.
Yeah,
they're related.
They're
cousins.
The asteroids took out the dinosaurs, so it's okay.
It's like Have you seen Broken Arrow?
I have not. I only know of the Scream, of the theme of Broken Arrow that's in Scream because it's the theme for what's his name? David Arquette.
At the end of the movie, they shoot John Travolta with a disabled nuclear missile in a train car. Like the missile's at one end of the train car, he's at the other, and when it comes at him, the missile gives a lion's roar.
It's a sentient lion missile.
Yeah. We very much get the same thing in this movie. I love it when they give an inanimate object like animal noises.
Yes. And then I don't know if this is confirmed, but I like to believe the thrusters on the Armadillo are pod racer engines because they very much look like it.
It reminded me of the Batmobile from the Chris Nolan movies.
That's true, yeah. Oh, like the outside of it and everything, just sort of like the makeup of it, or the thrusters specific.
Like the thrusters when like he does like the jumps in Batman Begins and stuff.
Oh yeah, when they actually take off. Yes.
That's one I haven't
Inspiration.
seen.
Oh.
I've seen
McKenna's only seen the other two Dark Knight movies. She hasn't seen Batman Begins.
both on planes, so they hold up on planes
Good
and
plane
the tiny
movies,
screens. Though I don't know if I mentioned this in the Dark Knight episode, but I did close my eyes a couple times because the Joker scared me a little too
He's
much.
very scary, yeah.
No, and Bane sort of was creepy too. Bane. Oh, I'm gonna talk about Batman real quick.
I mean, legit, like, you know, being so close to the Pittsburgh Steelers, did that scare you? Seeing them all die? Because that scared me. I was sitting in the theater with my Troy Polamalu jersey on. I was like, did he make it? Only Hines Ward made it?
Only
Oh
Hines
no.
Ward made it.
It's a rebuilding year next year.
Haven't been back to Pittsburgh since.
Yeah.
Like, that's not Tom Hardy. Well, it is. It is Tom Hardy, but I personally won't believe it. But it is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand the third Dark Knight movie.
I'm not sure the person who wrote it understands it.
Yeah, and Heath Ledger died. That he was supposed to be part of it. They had issues.
Yeah, there's a whole
The whole thing.
Yeah.
Doesn't help. I didn't see Batman Begins, which apparently plays it a lot into.
Yeah, wraps it all up. Yeah.
But it was,
Bane was the bat that scared him when he was young.
Was he really?
He thought it was a bat, and that's why he based his whole identity on Batman. But it was man in a costume.
He misheard.
Yeah.
He said, "I'm Bane." He thought he said, "I'm Bat."
Yeah. Well, that's scary. Yeah. Don't like bats anymore. Never saw them again.
Exactly.
You just had to believe us. This is what happens in Batman Begins.
Yeah.
I don't have to watch it now.
And Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers.
Same movie.
Same universe. Just those two.
I don't get movies. Oh, I want to talk about space.
Yes.
Okay.
And go ahead, McKenna. Talk about space.
This is my ramble time just about space. I love space with my whole little heart. When I was in 5th grade, if I was good at math, I would have become an astronaut, but just weren't in the cards. Also not great at science. But I love like that the montage of them doing the space astronaut things made me so giddy. Brandon, it's time for us to talk about the DM I sent you a few weeks ago about doing HBO Max in space.
Oh, right.
I
forgot about
the
this.
perfect
Until we
movie.
don't
Yeah.
hold it. Until we talked about Armageddon. What? Wait, I don't know why. Why did I? Oh, I know why. I worked it out. So I was on TikTok, and there was a video from NASA about a dude in space. And I was like, damn. And it reignited my love for space and how much I wanted to go up into space. And I thought, at this point, what's going to be the easiest for me to get to space? When I think of HBO Max in space, I think once we get this hostage sponsorship, once we go big, once we go public, get on the stock market. I hit another button. Okay, we're good.
You hit the stock market, but we went public early.
Sorry. We go to space. Okay, hear me out here. Okay, we do the training, the thing where it spins you around, you try not to throw up. We go underwater. We could do it's like a team bonding exercise. There's only 2 of. Matt, you're more than welcome to come too if you want.
I would love to.
Yeah,
I would love
the
to.
2-person team here at HBO Max. We need to do some bonding games. We're trying to develop a good work culture here at HBO Max.
Exactly. So we go. We do the pool. We do some. I don't know. We could pretend to be drillers. I don't know. I just want to do something in the pool with the suits. I don't want to drown though. And then we can go into space, and just sort of float around and have things. We could just let things go and things float around, and then we could just randomly pick them up, space things. And then we record HBO Max in space. And I think that'd be a great idea, and we should one day do that.
Space is scary. I don't want to go to space.
You guys see the William Shatner quote recently about going to space?
Yeah.
It hurt my heart.
About the existential dread of having gone to space.
Yes. He wanted this his whole life, and being in Star Trek and stuff, he's always been obsessed with space, and he got to go finally, and somebody asked him about it, and he was like I saw the Earth and it was beautiful, and then I looked out the other window and I just saw, and it was just nothing forever, and it just affected his core.
Yeah.
It was very scary. I read that and I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
But, no. But space.
And
That's what I said
the thing
too.
is that like every like the movies, like every time a movie is set in space, it's about like just how horrible and scary everything is in
Right.
space, and if one little thing goes wrong, it's a disaster.
But space.
You can go to space. We can do the podcast. You'll do the podcast remote. We do this on Discord
in
anyway.
NASA.
Oh,
Yeah, I'll be
you
in
can be
NASA.
Houston.
I'll be
You can be
yeah.
in Houston.
You could be Houston.
I'll be with Malfoy's dad and Michael Bay. I'll be
Yeah.
in.
And then we start the podcast. Houston, we have a podcast.
Oh, let me check and see if the copyright on that's available.
I mean, if like that's a
Yeah,
good
we're
name for an
taking
asteroid
NASA's got that one. NASA jumped all over. Yeah, that's theirs. Good on them. Good on them.
Houston, we have an HBO Max. That has a copywritten thing in it, but the whole thing's not copyrighted.
Houston, we have a podcast. Welcome to.
I think they just started this. Oh no, this is episode 265. Okay, never mind.
They were
This one
listening
just came
live
out.
and we're like, get on it.
This one just came out. Never mind.
Go release
All right, well.
all 265 episodes right now. But that's my space proposition. I want to go to space. I want to have this existential dread. Not really, but like, it's okay because it's space existential dread. Not many people. Me and William Shatner can talk about space existential dread.
Yeah,
And this
Shatman.
This is I want to talk to the Shatman. And this is and that will be the peak of my existence, going to space. That's nowhere else to go put down after that.
And then after watching this movie, like, what do you think? Like, what did you learn from this experience that could happen to you while you're in space doing a podcast? Because it's doing a podcast in space very similar to drilling into an asteroid in space.
I've always said that.
You gotta be cautious of the random rocks in space.
Yeah.
You gotta be you gotta watch your gauges, and you gotta make sure someone's paying attention to you paying attention to the gauges. You got to be careful of gas pockets in space. Half of the time. Sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's not okay. It just depends. If I'm with Ben Affleck,
There's no way that there could be a gas pocket inside of an asteroid, right? Like, that physically doesn't make any sense. There's not an atmosphere to, like, contain the gas. It would just get ripped out into space.
But also, so going through this, it's making me like think of this scene where Brandon, they're approaching you about like there's this problem and we got to do a podcast in space. Here are our best astronauts. We're sending them up. You're like, no, they don't know how to do this. They don't know how to podcast. We're gonna send my best person on it. Makenna's going to space.
I love the scene when they take him, they bring Harry out to like watch the astronauts. These guys don't know jack about drilling. He's like, I'm a third generation driller.
Been doing this for 30 years, and even then I don't get it. I don't always get
Drilling's an art.
he says,
It's a
yeah.
science.
But these scientists, they don't know anything about it.
They don't know jack about drilling.
You just get a good look at the 6 extras there in the NASA uniforms, and you're like, none of them are gone. As soon as they're on screen, you're like, none of these people are.
It just like it cuts to him, and he's looking at a transmission. He's like, he's chatting. He's all these guys don't know jack about drilling.
I love that those guys are just all in the background, arms crossed. Every time they cut
don't say
differently.
anything.
They don't say anything.
Yeah.
They're
They're like,
just-
he's right. They're like, he's right. We know. We don't
know jack
anything
about drilling.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can't. You can't teach a bunch of astronauts how to be podcasters.
No.
You gotta.
You can
You gotta
teach
teach
podcasters
how to be
How to be
astronauts.
astronauts.
That's what they've always said.
Mm-hmm.
Just waiting for my letter in the mail.
Yeah,
Would they
I'm a
like?
third generation podcaster.
If we went to space, like, how would it be like, how, wait, hold on. Let me restart.
I mean, that's a big question. How? Like, just for this movie.
Okay, so like they track down these guys, right, with people. Could, like, if they get us to do this podcast in space, which they totally will one day, like, how, obviously we're not on a 16-day limit before we all possibly die. Like, they got a little bit more time with us. Will we get, like, a letter in the mail, like Hogwarts? Or, like, are they coming to our door? Are we, like...
If this is an
How?
emergency, I imagine the way that they would find us is you would be out on horseback,
Right.
and they would, like, send helicopters at you.
Behind you.
I
And
would
you're
be on a
silhouetted at first. We don't
motorcycle.
know that it's you.
Mhm.
And then we see you.
Yeah. I would be on a motorcycle, and I would see the police, and I would just run because I've done so many crimes.
Hmm. And I would go and visit my ex-wife and son, who I've never
That you have a
met
restraining
before.
order on.
They have a restraining order.
And that's and that's how we get to space. It's- hear me out. Okay. So say we're going to space, okay? Which we are. And we have the 24-hour window that Bruce Willis gets us. What are you two doing with that 24 before you possibly die? Like, we gotta go podcast on space.
That's the last thing. Apparently, the only options are hang out at an old gas station or go to a strip club in a cathedral.
Animal crackers. You gotta have your animal crackers there too. Yeah,
Good
that's
choice.
a good question. It depends. I guess it depends on like what day of the week it is.
That's a good point. Yeah, is it like a Sunday? Because
If it's Sunday, I gotta watch Red Zone. I see, I gotta see the early window, at least. Witching hour. It was a witching.
Oh yeah, gotta get the witching hour.
Yeah. So yeah, it just depends.
Yeah.
Priorities.
Thursday also, yeah, gotta watch football. Monday, gotta
Watch football.
Saturday, I'd probably watch the college games.
Yep.
Just a little bit. And like
If
every
it's-
other day,
if
there's
it's
like
Christmas.
NBA.
If it's Christmas, gotta watch football. If it's Black
Yeah.
Friday, gotta watch
Gotta watch
football.
Thanksgiving,
Thanksgiving,
yeah,
football.
New Year's, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's football all day, every day.
Mhm.
I get it, you know?
You think
but
NASA could like get me like in like good seats at a football game?
the
There-
NASA seats.
You're sitting next to Jerry Jones. He's like, "How did you?" It's about to end. I hate to break it to you.
Yeah, man. Sorry.
We're going to space.
And I'm going to space.
What do you think? I'm gonna build this out. This is the podcast space universe now, okay? What's like our what's our shuttle name, first off?
Okay. Are there 2 shuttles? Are you? Well, I guess.
We each get our individual shuttle. Let's go 1 for now. If you have more, we can build more. I don't know.
Okay.
They're NASA.
Yeah.
In this movie, they call them what? Freedom and
Freedom and independence. Yeah.
You know,
Like
America.
you couldn't get something more on theme, like
oil.
And think about it. This is pre 9/11, so this is true unbridled patriotism, not sparked by anything. They're just like straight up, yeah, freedom and independence.
like not like resilience, like
yeah,
we're gonna fight through this,
Strength.
or like
courage.
like courage, crew,
Valiance,
resilient
yeah.
crew. They're like, no, like just freedom and independence. That applies to saving
Right.
the world.
Yeah, I don't think the asteroid really cares about freedom.
It is freedom and independence.
And also like essentially the same concept. Like
Yeah,
the shuttles are basically the same name.
right. I mean, here's what I'm thinking. The world's about to end. You got these ships. I'm thinking sponsorship. All right, you can get some good money making this, the Pizza Hut.
Yeah, it's
Pizza
like
Hut
a NASCAR
shuttle.
car, but with the fucking space
Exactly.
shuttle.
Just put those stickers all over it. We got the Pizza Hut shuttle. We got the the FTX shuttle.
Yeah, the
But
FTX
then we
shuttle.
have to take it down.
The crypto.com
Right.
shuttle.
Where no one has gone before.
Which one was Matt Damon?
I think
When
that's
he was in
crypto.com.
space. Crypto.com?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He's
Yeah,
been
they're
in
the,
space a
they're the
lot.
sponsor.
Can we bring Matt Damon with
Fortune
us?
favors the ball.
I don't think he'll go into space again.
Ooh. Okay,
Oh, but
I
still
just
go
came.
for
Okay,
Tim's.
in my head, this is a whole different show, and I don't even know if you could probably do this on HBO Max. You just have to see enough movies. This is maybe like a bonus episode.
BoneCon.
We do a mock draft of space crews. Like we have 5 spots on our space crew, and using movie characters, we fill it. So like Matt
Yes.
Damon from The Martian,
Oh
you
my
can
God.
get you can just get crazy with some of these.
So
Some Interstellar,
Are we
Alien.
drafting astronauts or are we drafting whole crews?
I think whole crew or no astronauts, like so individual. You make your
Ooh,
with
okay.
that. I think there's a line where like you can't do. I would say like no Star Wars, but maybe like
Yeah, it's gotta
maybe
be
like
astronauts.
Aliens. Okay, yeah, exactly. I think there's got to be an astronaut.
Ooh.
Yeah, we should. I'm writing this down for BoneCon.
Write this down. Yeah, for later.
Let me write this down.
Definitely don't pick George Clooney from Gravity because he just gets fucking rocketed out into space.
Only saw the first 5 minutes and then stopped watching. So I'm telling you.
Oh, space.
Tom Hanks, Apollo
Yeah.
13. He's great. Other Gary Sinise. Hello.
Oh man, it's Kevin Bacon, right? Kevin Bacon's in that. Yeah,
Ooh, you can mix some of the
Jack Swaggart. That's who he plays.
That's his name.
Like, he's
you
a
can
real
get-
person.
Well, I'm sorry. We're not talking about the wrestler Jack Swagger from WWE 2009. You're talking about somebody else played by Kevin Bacon, but he's a real person.
Yeah, Jack Swaggart. With a T.
Oh, with a T. Okay.
Yeah, real life astronaut Jack Swaggart. That's who Kevin Bacon plays in Apollo 13.
Oh. Yeah, I guess that is based off a real event.
Can I have?
Matt just forgot Apollo 13 what actually
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
He's like,
I was
man, that's a
yeah,
good movie. How'd they come up with
How
that?
did they come up with that? Man.
all
Square
the,
peg,
all the
round
solutions
hole.
were like
That's
so
crazy.
detailed and creative.
Yeah.
Can I have Chris Evans playing Neil Armstrong from First Man? I think it was.
No, that's not Chris Evans. That's
Oh, Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling, the guys, yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Can I-
pick Chris Evans as Johnny
Buzz
Storm.
Lightyear. Johnny Storm, yes! Whoa, I didn't even think about that. The Astro 4.
This is gold. This is great. This is. We'll fill out.
Yeah,
Oscars.
we'll have to do this as a bonus episode. This is a good idea.
This is a good idea. Matt, you struck gold. Not a
Thank
gas
you.
pocket.
Astronaut draft.
The astronaut draft, yeah.
Astro
We'll mark it
drafting.
down. We'll prepare for later.
You hit a gas pocket of gold on the asteroid of creativity, and it launched
and it
you off
blew
into
us
success.
away.
This is great. It's space time. It's
This movie's dope.
Now, the core. Do they count as astronauts, even though they're going inside the Earth? Because I feel like they're astronauts.
Okay,
what's his name?
Does the crew of the Abyss count as astronauts?
I haven't seen.
They
the
go
Abyss, I couldn't tell you.
underwater.
Oh.
They go to like the deepest parts of the ocean. I mean, basically indistinguishable from going to space, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I think they count. Oh shit! I knocked my microphone, but it's fine.
And yeah,
I think they
would
count.
say the
Well, I
core.
don't know
think the
because
core counts.
technically they could be submariners.
Oh yeah, because then like I guess you
Submarinists.
include like all the submarine.
Yeah.
People. Then like Sean Connery from Hunt for Red
Hunt from Red October, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, put him in the space. You know, I think I would still put him on my crew.
Ooh, that'd be good. You could basically remake the entire movie of Hunt for Red October, but just in space.
In space, write that down too.
Right? Yeah, that's a good idea for a movie.
For a real movie.
Yeah, we're just gonna after we get done with this podcast, we're just gonna like hammer out an outline for that.
Yeah.
Space is great. Space is big.
But yeah, getting back to Armageddon, of course, great movie. They definitely like it. It hurts them because I feel like at that time people don't really have those complaints about like there's no sound in space or like that's not how like your face would implode. That's not how getting like your glass broken in space works. Or, like any of that stuff. It's all very just silly and like. Bombastic.
I mean, this is a very like popcorn block. Like we said, like the time doesn't make sense in the movie.
Yes,
they don't care about anything. They're just
right.
trying to make as you sit back, you relax, you watch some Armageddon. It's probably too long. It's a movie that I know isn't good. Like I know that this movie isn't very good, but I love it. It's so much fun. I don't care.
But yeah, just way too long. Still, I think the movie is at its best when like it utilizes its like super charismatic ensemble cast, which like they just didn't know what they had because it was early for so many of those people's career, even though they had shown some great stuff. But like all that really is while they're in land or while they're in space, like Owen Wilson dies immediately, and
yeah, I think that's probably like the problem with the space stuff.
Yeah,
is that there's nobody there anymore. It's like William Fichtner's the star of the movie now.
Exactly. They split up the crews in weird ways where it's like Ben Affleck and Michael Clark Duncan and Peter Stormare. They're gonna do this crazy jump, and honestly, that's like space for me is the jump. And then like you're not gonna see them for like another 20 minutes till they're ready to save the day.
There are so many characters in this movie. Like there's like 20 oil drillers and 20 astronauts. Like they couldn't just make like some of the astronauts cool.
Right.
Like so many people.
Yeah.
I like I think who is it, Watts or whatever.
Watts is great. She's
great.
She's a great like underrated MVP of the movie where like she has like some good screen time like teaching them like before they go up, but then you're like, well, clearly like these astronauts, none of them are cut out for this drilling thing. They're all about to get wasted, but she hangs in there, and she I mean in the end Peter Stormare has to mansplain astrophysics to her by hitting a machine until it
but they also have her explain gravity in like the dumbest way possible. She's like, "Hey, bear, if I were to kick you in the balls,
you'd go flying forever." Yeah.
And then they do a callback to that later when they're on when they go to do the jump. He's like, "Hey, remember when Watts talked about kicking you in the balls?"
He's like, "Yeah,
yeah,
what
this is super tight script.
Yeah,
everything's a payoff."
What a good movie.
But yeah, once they get into space, there's just way too much happening, and they just split the crew up poorly, and you never really know what's going on until it's over.
Until it happens.
How about the scene where Billy Bob Thornton reveals that he can't be an astronaut because he has braces on his legs?
And then they never talk about it again?
Yeah.
It's never brought up before or after it, just then?
It's like this movie constantly does like the emotional back and forth of where like the back and forth of action and emotion where they're like all this crazy shit's happening, and then Michael Bay's like, but I need them to know that these are real people and they have struggles just like you and me, and we got to care about them because they're important.
I mean, I do. I get upset every time when they get to the end and Oscar dies, and to get to Oscar's corpse, I'm
So to
pretty
speak,
sure
so to
Ben
speak.
Affleck throws away Noonan's body. And it's just like, fuck you, Noonan. I don't care that you're dead. Oscar!
That's my favorite part about the like. So at the end, they have the wedding. That's also a funeral, and there's only 3 portraits there. When like 6 people died, 6 or 7, but they're like, no.
Yeah, but we only care about a couple of them.
Yeah, we only care. The one astronaut, who what's it? Gruber. It's Gruber's portrait. It's Owen Wilson, and it's Ben Willis, Bruce Willis,
Ben Wallace.
Ben Wallace.
Detroit Pistons star center Ben Wallace.
Imagine, okay, new script. They have to play basketball in space, but this isn't Space Jam. This is like Armageddon Jam.
Yeah, like
Houston-
they come. That should have been the plot. Is they come to LeBron James. There's like, there's an asteroid coming, and the only way that we can. Okay, so this is a tangent. Have you heard about? Are you familiar with the show One Tree Hill?
Yes, I'm familiar with Montreal vaguely.
There is a famous rejected script from one of the early seasons of One Tree Hill where there is a bomb that gets put in town, and the only way that they can disable the bomb is that there's like a basketball sized hole on it, and the 2 brothers, they have to figure out which one of them is going to take the shot to disarm the bomb. We repurposed that script as there's an asteroid coming to Earth, and they have to shoot a basketball into it.
Yeah.
And they're like, LeBron James, we need you to go to space. We need you to teach these astronauts how to shoot a basketball. And he's like, you can't teach astronauts how to shoot basketballs. Gotta teach basketball players how to be astronauts.
Yeah, exactly. But it's in this era, so it is the 2002 Detroit Pistons. And give me Ben Wallace. And
yeah, the worst person you could possibly get to shoot a basketball.
Rasheed Wallace is Steve Buscemi.
Gold. Absolute gold.
Yeah, let's watch that.
My final thing. I just I don't know why I want you guys to know this. I cried like a little baby whenever Bruce Willis was saying goodbye to his daughter.
Oh, it's so good.
It's so good. It's so okay. Man, it was bad. I was sobbing. Like it was real bad. I was crying so hard my glasses steamed up. But he saved the day, and then he gave the patch to Billy Bob Thornton.
Or like the scene before that when like him and AJ go out there, and he like, and then he just like shoves AJ in the thing and locks him in there.
He pulls his oxygen tube. He's like, I can't breathe, bitch, and then just pushes him back in the.
It's so good.
It's great, yeah.
What a wonderful time.
Which is like, why go through the drawing straws if that's what you're gonna do? And also, my favorite part about it is
I think that if it was William Fichtner, he'd get down and be like, "Yeah, fuck you, William Fichtner. I don't care if you die."
he was playing chess in his head where he's all right, like if it's AJ, I'll do it, but nobody else.
Yeah. Bear, fuck you, Bear.
I love that Steve Buscemi volunteers himself at the scene, and they're like, no. We do not trust you with this assignment. We are okay with you dying, but we do not trust you with this assignment.
I love that they randomly had straws too, just like gotta put straws.
Very colorful too. Very colorful.
Collection.
So they use do they use plastic straws, or are they?
They almost look like little
wooden
wax
sticks.
candles. They look like very thin wax, like birthday cake candles, but all various sizes.
So weird.
Maybe there was like a birthday scene that they had to delete. They had to cut.
Oh, I wish. If only. Matt Batson, do you have any final thoughts about Armageddon?
It's a great movie. It really is, but it's awful. You know, it's a perfect balance. And I don't know, like I constantly, like I mentioned it before. Owen Wilson had just done Anaconda. Ben Affleck had just done Good Will Hunting. Michael Bay coming his third movie. It's a very fun movie to like not only to watch, but to go back and like see this all-star cast where they were in like their careers. Because
this was
such a
Michael Clark Duncan's launching point. Because after this, Bruce Willis recommended him for The Green Mile.
really, I totally forgot that came after this. But yeah, so wow, yeah, just more to it of like seeing where everybody was in 1998 and where they've come from since then and where they were before that. It's just really cool, and like you can spend hours just on IMDb looking at at everybody involved with this movie on so many levels.
100%. I did. I know I did. Brandon, do you have any final thoughts on Armageddon, the masterpiece that is Armageddon?
I have sort of long been a Michael Bay apologist, even though I will admit most of his movies suck. He doesn't really make good movies anymore. Like this and The Rock is a much better movie than like the first Bad Boys. Like the thing that Michael Bay does, and he's really good at it, is like just he's got his style. I just like
it's the constant like use of dollies of like these moving that feel so grandiose, and like they can elevate dialogue, like mediocre dialogue, just because it's such this like gorgeous moving shot.
Yeah, and I know people don't like the tight end crazy cut editing and stuff. I get why people don't like it. I think the thing about it with Michael Bay is that it feels like it's an intentional choice. Like he knows what he's doing and he's doing it. He's not just doing it because like, oh man, we didn't shoot enough coverage of this fight. Just fucking chop it up. I like him. I think he's a really good filmmaker when he like has a good script.
Also, I like to talk about like this movie's inclusion in the Criterion Collection. So we had mentioned before Armageddon's second movie, the first movie being The Rock. So I really like that, like, you know, the Mr. Criterion sitting on his throne. He watches Bad Boys 1. He's like, maybe this kid has something one day. He watches The Rock. He's like, oh man, revitalizing Sean Connery, great movie, amazing action movie. He sees this. He's like, yeah, this one too. And then after that, he's like, all right, Michael, I'll see you later.
Man, The Island? No, we're not going to do The Island.
He's just like, we're done here.
I have a quote from the essay that was written about this movie's inclusion in the Criterion Collection, because it's been clowned quite a bit. Criterion people at the time were really upset that this movie got included in the Criterion Collection. Film buffs make fun of it for being in the Criterion Collection. Jeannie Basinger wrote an essay about it, and she's one of Michael Bay's film professors, and she spent like a lot of time being like a big Michael Bay fan. Like she's written a lot about his movies and stuff. But on this one, she has a quote where it's a work of art by a cutting-edge artist who is a master of movement, light, color, and shape, and also the chaos, razzle-dazzle, and explosion. Like, yeah, like it's like
That's
nobody else makes a movie that looks like Michael Bay's movie. So yeah, put him in the Criterion Collection.
Mm-hmm. But then, yeah, I think it really hurt him that he did Pearl Harbor after this. Criterion was like, no more.
Yeah. They're like, oh man, this movie's terrible.
Ben Affleck, he came back. He came back.
He was Batman.
Not Michael Bay.
Oh no, not Michael Bay. Oh no, it's okay. Matt Batson, where can people? I don't know why I'm calling you by your full name all of a sudden.
Most people do it. It has a good ring to it. I understand what it happened.
It is a good like bam bam.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how often I tell this, but when we moved between elementary school and middle school for me, and we changed school districts, and so I went to middle school, and all my life I had gone by Matthew because that's my birth name, and but when I went to middle school, I was at having to make new friends. I was like, Matt, no, that's what they're gonna call me.
Aww.
Matt Batson, and like I didn't even realize it had that partial rhyme in there, but yeah. So yeah, you can find me at my local middle school. Twitter for however long that'll be around at Matt S. Batson. Other than that, twitch.tv/GinoVii. But yeah, I mean, if that ship's going down, like, see you guys later. You know what I mean?
You just put out a new reel, right?
I did, yeah. I'm looking for work currently. I finally updated my reel of all the cool stuff I've worked on this year, and I like it. So,
Woo.
so yeah, put that out and I put that out.
I put that out.
You put that out. Brandon, where can
Hashtag put that out.
Hashtag put that out. I guess also, yeah, youtube.com/Matt Batson, maybe. I forget how after a certain amount of subscribers.
Might be there. It might not be
It
there.
might be there. Who knows?
I don't know.
Who knows who you'll get?
I'll find it.
Oh,
in the link.
fun story with someone that you both know. I learned recently that so obviously there's other Matt Batsons in the world. I learned recently that Commissioner of Fan Control Football, Ray Austin, he does not follow me on Twitter because he follows at Matt Batson, who is not me. He's a guy who like likes NASCAR and he hasn't tweeted anything since 2011.
Oh, that's
Does Ray know this, or does he still follow it?
I only recently discovered this. I haven't discovered this since I've like talked to Ray.
That's amazing. Oh my
Yeah.
god. If you like NASCAR, follow at Matt Batson.
Matt Batson.
You look like NASCAR from a couple years ago.
From, yeah,
From 10 years
2011.
ago.
Yeah. Denny Hamlin, he was tearing it up back in 11. Let me tell you.
Back in the day.
Back in the day.
Brandon, where can people find you?
They can find me at Jose Ruckus on the Instagram and the Twitter. And I'm trying to stream Overwatch right now because I've just been playing a lot of Overwatch. So twitch.tv/Jose Ruckus.
Hell yeah.
Overwatch.
Overwatch.
Watch me be mediocre at Overwatch.
Nice.
Watch over. You can find me on Twitter at PowerPants212 if you want. And if you like soccer, doing stuff during the World Cup. Well, I'm producing. I'm behind the scenes. You won't see me.
You're gonna be playing at the World Cup.
If you like soccer, check out Team USA.
Yeah, me and Christian Pulisic tearing it up. On
You're gonna be a starting forward.
Yeah, I'm just kicking everyone.
She's an elite striker.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the goals. Put money on me, thanks. Go State of Soccer TV, SO Soccer TV on Instagram and Twitter. Soccer coverage, baby. World Cup time.
Let them play the soccer.
Let them play
Let them play the soccer.
Let them play the soccer.
Soccer's coming home.
Soccer's coming home to here. Our home. The United States. Not its home. Our
Freedom
home.
and independence.
No, see, Makenna, no. When football goes home, it goes to Europe. When soccer comes home,
That's
it comes to the United States.
facts. It's called soccer, damn it. You can follow the podcast, Twitter at HBO Max, HBO Maks, youtube.com/@HBO Max, HBO Maks, Spotify and podcast services, wherever you find them. HBO Maks. Like, comment,
MAKS.
subscribe. What should they comment?
They should comment, what are you doing with a gun in space?
Or give us your favorite fictional astronaut who would be
That's
your
a
top
better.
pick.
That's way better.
Yes, comment either or both of those. And did I hit all the things? Subscribe.
I think so.
Click the bell if
Yeah,
you
like,
want.
subscribe. Click the bell.
Click the bell.
I've been told that does things. Some episodes get a bunch of views. Some episodes barely get any views. We don't know why.
Science.
Share it with people.
Yeah, share it with people.
Tell us why. Tell us why you saw the video. Why you
Tell
decided
us
to click
why
that
you
one.
shared it with people.
Yeah.
If it was shared to you, tell us why you watched a video that someone shared with you.
Yes, exactly.
Share it to people you don't know.
Yeah.
It's
AirDrop, download it. Pull up AirDrop on your phone if you got an iPhone. Whoever's in your area, try and AirDrop it to them.
Yeah.
See if they accept.
exactly.
Just text the link to random numbers.
exactly. People like movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true. Not Rodney May, but other people.
No, I think the newest movie he's seen is Back at the Barnyard.
Oh, great movie. Otis and the other characters.
Kevin
Odie,
James.
Otis.
Maybe, yeah. He's a cow.
He's a cow.
And yeah, I think that's
Did he
the last
watch the spin-off series on Nickelodeon?
I know, I did. He may have.
Yeah.
I don't know if he paid attention. He definitely saw
Right.
it. I don't know if he watched
He was
it.
like, oh, they're doing this on this screen too, huh?
Exactly. And yeah. And yeah.
And
Thanks.
yeah.
Thanks for watching. Catch us next time in space.
Ah! Did you hit stop? Are we still going? We lost independence.